Imagine waking up tomorrow with a fire in your heart, a clarity in your mind, and an unstoppable momentum that propels every area of your life forward. For too long, delays, setbacks, and invisible barriers have kept you stuck in a loop of frustration, leaving your dreams just out of reach. But what if the key to breaking free isn't a lifelong struggle, but a single deliberate action taken with intention and faith? One day, just one can shift the trajectory of your destiny, dissolve the chain of stagnation, and align your steps with a rhythm of success and divine favor. Picture the power that lies in decisive action, in the courage to confront fear, doubt, and hesitation head on. The world often tells you to wait, to accept later as a constant companion. But life rewards the bold who refuse to settle for ordinary. When you choose to act, even for a single day, you invite breakthrough into the areas that have long seemed resistant. Finances, relationships, purpose, and personal growth. You awaken the energy that turns obstacles into opportunities, misfortune into momentum, and delay into acceleration. This is more than motivation. It is a call to live intentionally, to step boldly into your season of favor, and to refuse to allow anything to hold you back. The idea that a single day of deliberate action can transform your life may sound simple, but its power is immense. Most people underestimate the influence of focused intention and the energy that comes from committing fully to a purpose, even if only for a short period. A day, when approached with clarity, determination, and unwavering focus, can become a catalyst for monumental change. The kind of change that reshapes trajectories, rewrites stories, and opens doors that seem permanently closed. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment or for circumstances to align magically. It is about choosing to act decisively now, with all your heart and mind engaged in the pursuit of your breakthrough. When you dedicate yourself to a single day of deliberate action, you are essentially sending a message to the universe, to life itself, that you are ready to move, ready to leave behind stagnation, and ready to step into a new chapter. This day becomes a marker, a reference point from which all progress flows. The transformative power of one day lies in the intensity and focus you bring to it. When you refuse to be distracted by fear, doubt, or past disappointment, you create a concentrated energy that begins to ripple outward. Actions that might normally take weeks or months to gain traction can begin to manifest rapidly when fueled by pure intent. This is because human energy, when channeled correctly, magnifies results in ways that are often underestimated. It is the commitment to start, the willingness to push through resistance, and the courage to do what others hesitate to do that turns a single day into a springboard for lasting momentum. Even the smallest intentional steps taken consistently over the course of this day can trigger profound shifts. The act of starting, the act of choosing to move forward, begins to break down invisible barriers that have held you back, revealing opportunities that were previously hidden behind the fog of indecision and delay. In practical terms, a day of deliberate action involves more than just activity. It requires purpose. Each decision, each task, each thought is aligned with the outcome you desire. You are no longer operating on autopilot or letting circumstances dictate your pace. Instead, you take full responsibility for your progress. The beauty of this approach is that it transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary results. Writing down goals, making critical phone calls, confronting challenges head on, or even dedicating uninterrupted hours to personal growth may seem minor in isolation, but when executed with full awareness and intentionality, they accumulate into a force powerful enough to disrupt old patterns and establish new trajectories. Moreover, the psychological impact of such focused action cannot be overstated. Committing fully to a single day generates a sense of empowerment, self-efficacy that lingers far beyond the 24-hour period. You begin to recognize that the limitations you once perceived were largely constructs of hesitation, fear, and procrastination. The energy and momentum generated during this deliberate day create a mindset shift, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of achieving what once seemed impossible. Your confidence grows, your resilience strengthens, and your clarity sharpens. Every decision made, every step taken, and every act of courage compounds, producing a chain reaction that reshapes how you approach challenges, opportunities, and goals in the future. Even more, the ripple effect of one intentional day often extends to the people around you. Your renewed energy, focus, and decisiveness inspire others to take action in their own lives. Relationships, collaborations, and opportunities that have been dormant or stagnant begin to stir as your commitment to growth and progress becomes visible and contagious. It is in these moments of deliberate action that you begin to notice the subtle alignments and synchronicity that life presents, as if the universe itself responds to the clarity and force of your intention. This single day becomes not just a moment of personal transformation, but a turning point that redefines how you engage with the world, how you pursue your dreams, and how you approach the limitless potential that exists within and around you. Delays and stagnation, often not the result of external circumstances, but are self-imposed, created by patterns of thought, hesitation, and indecision that keep us from moving forward. Many people blame time, luck, or others for the lack of progress in their lives. Yet, the true source of delay frequently lies within themselves. It is the habit of overthinking, the fear of failure, and the comfort of remaining in familiar routines that quietly cage potential and stunt growth. When we examine the areas of our lives that seem permanently stuck, we often find that they are governed more by internal resistance than by the obstacles we perceive externally. Understanding this is crucial because once we realize that stagnation is largely self-imposed, we gain the power to dismantle it deliberately and intentionally. Change begins when we acknowledge that our thoughts, choices, and actions, or lack thereof, have more influence over our destiny than any external circumstance. Stagnation thrives in the absence of purposeful action. When people hesitate to take the next step, procrastinate, or wait for perfect conditions, they create space for delay to grow stronger. The mind begins to justify inaction, convincing itself that circumstances are beyond control, that timing is not right, or that more preparation is needed. While preparation has value, excessive preparation often becomes a trap, a method of avoiding the discomfort of starting. Life does not wait for perfection, and stagnation persists when we allow the illusion of readiness to dictate our pace. Recognizing that these delays are self-imposed is the first step toward liberation. Once you confront the truth that you have been contributing to your own pause, you open the door to conscious intervention and strategic action. Self-imposed delays are often reinforced by fear. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, or fear of uncertainty can immobilize even the most capable individuals. When fear dictates our choices, it creates a form of paralysis that masquerades as caution. Yet, this caution is deceptive because it prevents growth, blocks opportunity, and strengthens the inertia that keeps life stagnant. Breaking free from self-imposed delays requires the courage to act despite fear, to step into discomfort, knowing that growth and progress reside there. Action, even imperfect or tentative action, breaks the cycle of stagnation and begins to rewire the mind toward possibility and forward momentum. The longer we allow fear to govern our behavior, the more entrenched these delays become, until the sense of being stuck feels permanent. Awareness of this internal mechanism is therefore essential, as it equips us to respond differently, to challenge old habits, and to reclaim the initiative over our own lives. Another reason delays and stagnation are self-imposed is indecision. The inability to make timely choices often leads to missed opportunities and a sense of helplessness. When decisions are postponed indefinitely, life moves forward without us, and we remain trapped in a state of expectation rather than progression. Decision making requires confidence, clarity, and trust in one's intuition and judgment. By cultivating decisiveness, we interrupt the cycle of stagnation and create momentum that propels us toward our goals. Each decision becomes an act of liberation, a declaration that we are no longer passive observers, but active participants in shaping our destiny. The impact of self-imposed stagnation extends beyond productivity. It affects mindset, relationships, and overall life satisfaction. When people remain in states of delay, they begin to internalize a sense of limitation, believing that they are incapable of achieving their desires. This mindset reinforces hesitation, creating a feedback loop that perpetuates inaction. Breaking this cycle requires both awareness and action. Recognizing where delays are self-imposed, understanding the role of fear and indecision, and deliberately choosing to act in alignment with goals. The moment we take responsibility for the barriers we face, we shift from victimhood to empowerment, understanding that the power to move forward has always been within our control. By acknowledging that delays and stagnation are self-imposed, we open the pathway to intentional action, decisive movement, and measurable progress in all areas of life. Courage to act is one of the most powerful forces a person can cultivate because it directly challenges the fears, doubts, and uncertainties that keep potential locked away. Too often, people wait for confidence to arrive or for circumstances to become ideal before taking action. But true courage is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to move forward despite it. Every person faces moments of hesitation. Moments when the mind conjures reasons to delay, postpone, or avoid responsibility. These moments are tests, not barriers. Acting courageously is what separates those who remain stagnant from those who create breakthroughs. The act of confronting fear head-on, stepping into discomfort, and daring to move despite uncertainty ignites momentum, transforms mindset, and opens doors to possibilities that would have remained hidden if hesitation were allowed to dominate. Courage is fundamentally tied to action. The mind thrives on patterns, and if inaction becomes habitual, fear and doubt grow stronger over time. Procrastination, self-criticism, and overthinking all feed the illusion that action is optional or unnecessary. Yet, courage interrupts this cycle by forcing a confrontation with reality, the reality. That time will not wait, and the opportunities vanish when we hesitate. The act of moving forward, even imperfectly, demonstrates to the mind that progress is possible, instilling confidence that fuels further action. Courage does not have to be grandiose or dramatic. It can be as simple as making a critical phone call, voicing an important idea, pursuing a long-delayed goal, or taking the first step toward personal growth. Each act of bravery compounds over time, creating a momentum that reshapes perception, strengthens character, and accelerates results. The psychological impact of courageous action is profound. Fear and doubt often have a disproportionate influence on decisions, convincing people that they are unprepared, incapable, or undeserving. Acting in courage challenges these narratives, demonstrating that capability is revealed through engagement rather than waiting. When you face fear and proceed anyway, you build resilience and reinforce the belief that obstacles are not permanent roadblocks, but temporary tests that can be navigated with determination and strategy. Courage transforms the internal dialogue from limitation to possibility, rewiring how challenges are approached and how risks are assessed. Over time, repeated acts of courageous action cultivate a mindset where hesitation becomes less familiar and proactive decision-making becomes the natural response. Courage also has a ripple effect beyond personal achievement. When one chooses to act despite fear, it inspires others to do the same. The energy of bravery, decisiveness, and conviction is contagious, influencing colleagues, friends, and family, and creating an environment where progress is expected and hesitation is minimized. This environment not only supports personal growth, but also attracts opportunities, as people are naturally drawn to those who act with clarity, confidence, and determination. Courage signals to the universe and to others that you are committed to growth, prepared to take responsibility, and willing to pursue the extraordinary even when the ordinary is comfortable. Furthermore, courage bridges the gap between intention and results. Many people have visions, dreams, and goals, but without the courage to act, these remain abstract concepts. Courage converts thought into action, idea into execution, and potential into measurable outcomes. Each courageous step, no matter how small, chips away at stagnation, resistance, and self-doubt, creating a pathway toward achievement and fulfillment. It demonstrates That progress is not about the absence of fear, but about the mastery of action in the presence of it. In essence, courage is the engine that drives momentum, the spark that ignites transformation, the force that turns intention into tangible progress. The ability to act courageously is therefore not just a skill, but a discipline that can be cultivated through consistent practice. Each day presents opportunities to challenge hesitation, to step into uncertainty, and to affirm the belief that growth resides on the other side of fear. When courage becomes habitual, the invisible chains of doubt and hesitation begin to weaken, and life begins to shift in ways that thought alone could never achieve. The act of confronting fear head on, embracing discomfort, and daring to move forward reshapes not only outcomes but identity, transforming a person into someone who naturally pursues progress, embraces challenges, and refuses to allow fear to dictate the direction of their life. Momentum is one of the most misunderstood forces in personal and professional growth. Yet, it is one of the most decisive factors in achieving lasting success. Momentum is not simply speed or constant activity, it is the compounded effect of consistent, intentional steps taken with clarity and purpose. Many people underestimate its value, believing that breakthroughs are sudden, singular events, when in reality, they are the product of sustained movement in a focused direction. Once momentum is established, it becomes a self-reinforcing energy that propels progress, minimizes resistance, and amplifies results in ways that isolated efforts never could. The moment you begin taking intentional steps, no matter how small, you create a shift in energy, both internally and externally. This shift opens the door to opportunities, aligns circumstances, and attracts resources that were previously out of reach, transforming effort into results more efficiently than isolated action ever could. Momentum begins with consistency. Action alone is not enough. It must be directed, deliberate, and repeated over time. Every person encounters setbacks, distractions, and moments of doubt, but those who cultivate momentum learn to push through these challenges, using them as fuel rather than excuses. Small, purposeful actions compound over days, weeks, and months, building a force that makes it increasingly difficult for obstacles to halt progress. Each completed task, each decision made, and each step taken in alignment with goals adds to the velocity of your journey, creating an energy that carries you forward even in moments of uncertainty. Momentum transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary because the effect of repeated, aligned effort grows exponentially over time, producing results far greater than the sum of individual actions. The psychological power of momentum cannot be overstated. When people see continuous progress, no matter how incremental, confidence grows, determination strengthens, and clarity increases. Momentum produces a positive feedback loop. Progress encourages action, which generates more progress, which reinforces belief in one's capacity to achieve. This cycle reduces the influence of fear, doubt, and hesitation, replacing them with a proactive mindset that embraces challenges and seeks solutions. Momentum turns the energy of possibility into tangible outcomes, transforming ideas into reality. It is the difference between wishing for change and experiencing it, between thinking about action and actually achieving measurable results. Momentum also shifts the perception of time and effort. Tasks that once seemed monumental become manageable when approached as part of a continuous movement. When momentum is present, energy flows more efficiently. Distractions have less power and productivity increases naturally. The act of moving consistently creates a rhythm that synchronizes thoughts, action, and goals, making it easier to sustain focus and overcome resistance. Each step taken, no matter how small, becomes part of a larger force that drives progress and reinforces the belief that change is not only possible but inevitable. Beyond personal impact, momentum influences external circumstances. People, opportunities, and situations respond to consistent action. Those who act decisively and maintain forward movement attract partnerships, support, and resources more readily because momentum communicates commitment, reliability, and purpose. Momentum signals to the universe and to others that you are ready for progress, prepared to take responsibility, and aligned with results. It is a force that shapes not only personal achievement, but also the environment around you, creating conditions conducive to further growth and breakthrough. Momentum is cultivated through deliberate focus, repetition, and the willingness to act even when motivation fluctuates. It requires recognizing that each action, no matter how small, contributes to a greater force that will carry you toward your goals. By embracing the power of momentum, individuals shift from reactive living to proactive creation, transforming potential into performance, obstacles into opportunities, and intention into tangible results. It is the engine that sustains progress, the energy that multiplies effort, and the driving force behind breakthroughs that once seemed impossible, establishing a rhythm of success that continually propels life forward. Bold decisions are the cornerstone of extraordinary progress, because they separate those who merely dream from those who achieve. Life often presents choices that demand courage, clarity, and commitment, yet too many people shrink from making decisions that carry weight or risk. Boldness is not recklessness. It is the willingness to step into uncertainty with conviction, to act decisively even when the path ahead is unclear. Every area of life, relationships, career, finances, personal growth, and purpose is influenced by the choices we make. Hesitation, overanalysis, or fear of failure keeps people confined within familiar boundaries, limiting their potential and slowing the pace of progress. Bold decisions, on the other hand, create momentum, shift circumstances, and open doors that would otherwise remain closed, setting the stage for breakthroughs that redefine what is possible. The impact of bold decisions is both immediate and compounding. When a person acts decisively, they create a ripple effect that touches multiple aspects of their life. The act of choosing sends a signal to the mind, body, and environment that you are committed to growth, prepared to take responsibility, and determined to pursue results. Boldness generates energy, draws opportunities, and attracts the right people and resources because it communicates clarity of purpose. Indecision breeds stagnation, but decisive action generates movement, propelling goals forward and converting potential into measurable outcomes. Each courageous choice builds confidence, reshapes mindset, and strengthens the ability to face subsequent challenges with assurance and resilience. Bold decisions require overcoming fear and doubt, the two most common obstacles to meaningful progress. Fear often presents itself as a series of rationalizations, convincing individuals to wait for better timing, more resources, or safer circumstances. Doubt questions capability, worthiness, and readiness, reinforcing hesitation and reinforcing comfort in stagnation. Boldness confronts these internal barriers directly. It embraces discomfort, acknowledges uncertainty, and chooses action over inaction. The process of making bold decisions develops resilience, teaches adaptability, and trains the mind to focus on solutions rather than obstacles. It is through repeated acts of courageous choice that individuals cultivate a mindset capable of navigating complex situations and achieving extraordinary results. Making bold decisions also reshapes how the world responds to you. Boldness communicates confidence, vision, and commitment to others, inspiring trust, collaboration, and support. Opportunities that remain inaccessible to those who hesitate often become attainable to those who act decisively. Bold decisions attract alignment, whether through partnerships, mentorships, or timing. That seems coincidental, but is actually a reflection of intentional action. By stepping boldly into decisions, a person not only advances their own life, but also influences the dynamics around them, creating environments that reinforce growth, innovation, and achievement. Another critical aspect of bold decisions is their role in breaking patterns of mediocrity. Many individuals remain trapped in repetitive cycles because they allow fear, comfort, or indecision to dictate their choices. Boldness interrupts these patterns, challenges complacency, and establishes new habits of action and initiative. Each significant decision disrupts stagnation and sets a precedent for future choices, building a framework of empowerment and progress. The compounded effect of repeated bold decisions transforms the ordinary trajectory of life into one defined by growth, influence, and impact. Bold decisions require clarity of purpose, self-awareness, and a willingness to accept responsibility for outcomes. They demand focus on long-term goals rather than short-term comfort, and the courage to embrace risks that are necessary for meaningful achievement. Choosing boldly cultivates agency, strengthens conviction, and instills a sense of control over one's destiny. The act of deciding with courage and following through with commitment transforms uncertainty into opportunity, hesitation into momentum, and potential into tangible success. Each bold step taken builds upon the last, creating a chain reaction of progress, growth, and breakthrough that reshapes not only what is possible, but also how a person perceives their own capability and influence. Misfortune is often perceived as an external force, something that happens to us beyond our control. But in truth, it can be transformed into opportunity through perspective, action, and deliberate choice. Life's challenges, setbacks, and apparent failures are not permanent roadblocks. They are signals, invitations, and catalysts for growth. Too many people allow temporary difficulties to define them, resigning themselves to circumstances that seem unfair or unchangeable. Those who choose to see misfortune as a teacher rather than a punishment discover the hidden value in every struggle. The ability to turn adversity into advantage begins with a shift in mindset, recognizing that obstacles are not endpoints, but starting points for innovation, learning, and strategic movement. Misfortune, when approached with the right attitude and decisive action, becomes fuel for progress rather than a reason to surrender. The first step in transforming misfortune into opportunity is acknowledgement without resistance. Life often presents situations that are uncomfortable, disappointing, or painful. And the natural response is to fight against them, blame others, or retreat into avoidance. This resistance, however, prolongs difficulty and reinforces a sense of stagnation. By confronting challenges directly and accepting their presence, individuals regain control over how they respond. Acceptance is not surrender. It is the conscious choice to engage with reality and seek solutions. Once acceptance occurs, clarity emerges, allowing a person to identify actionable steps, alternative paths, and hidden opportunities within the circumstance. Every setback contains the seed of insight, strategy, or advantage that can be leveraged for future gain. Opportunity emerges most clearly when combined with decisive action. Many people experience misfortune but remain passive, waiting for luck or circumstances to change. Yet progress requires engagement. Action, even small, intentional steps, shifts energy, creates momentum, and generates new possibilities. By responding to misfortune with determination and creativity, setbacks begin to dissolve. Obstacles are reframed as challenges to overcome, and the individual reclaim agency over their life. This process also strengthens resilience, teaching lessons in adaptability, patience, and problem solving that are invaluable for long-term growth. The reframing of misfortune into opportunity also requires cultivating perspective. Difficult situations often contain lessons that are invisible at first glance. Failure can highlight gaps in strategy. Relationships can reveal patterns that need adjustment, and disappointments can uncover strengths that were previously dormant. By shifting focus from what has gone wrong to what can be learned, individuals turn misfortune into a powerful tool for self-improvement and preparation for future success. Perspective reframes the narrative, transforming despair into determination, limitation into possibility, and apparent loss into strategic advantage. Moreover, misfortune can strengthen character and attract alignment. Those who respond to adversity with courage, persistence, and integrity often find that doors previously closed begin to open. The trials we face develop qualities, resilience, empathy, strategic thinking, and patience that become magnets for opportunity, collaboration, and breakthrough. Misfortune, therefore, is not merely a challenge to endure. It is a process through which capability is tested and refined, preparing individuals for greater achievements and elevated seasons of influence. Misfortune also teaches the importance of timing, decision-making, and adaptability. When circumstances seem unfavorable, it forces reflection, assessment, and strategic adjustment. By using adversity as a lens to evaluate options, refine goals, and sharpen execution, individuals convert obstacles into stepping stones. What initially appears as misfortune becomes a stage for ingenuity, perseverance, and decisive progress. This transformation relies on conscious choice, the willingness to engage, the courage to act, and the discipline to persist even when outcomes are uncertain. Through deliberate response, misfortune ceases to be a source of limitation and becomes an engine for momentum. It challenges individuals to think differently, act strategically, and pursue growth with intentionality. Every difficulty encountered carries within it a hidden opportunity waiting to be discovered by those willing to respond boldly, learn continuously, and act decisively. In this way, adversity is not an enemy but a powerful ally, a force that shapes potential into tangible results and transforms setbacks into a foundation for long-term achievement. Waiting for later is one of the greatest thieves of potential and progress. So often people postpone action, believing that the perfect moment, complete resource, or ideal circumstances must first appear before they can move forward. Yet life rarely aligns perfectly. And those who constantly defer their dreams find themselves trapped in cycles of delay and stagnation. The habit of waiting for later is fueled by fear, doubt, and the comfort of familiarity, convincing the mind that patience equals prudence. While patience has its place, excessive waiting is not wisdom, it is avoidance. Every moment spent waiting is a moment lost, an opportunity deferred, and a potential breakthrough delayed. The truth is that later rarely arrives in the form imagined. The universe responds to those who act, not those who hesitate. And momentum favors the bold, who are willing to step into action despite uncertainty. The danger of waiting for later is that it allows hesitation to grow into habit. Procrastination becomes normalized, fear strengthens, and self-doubt solidifies. People convince themselves that preparation is incomplete, that circumstances are insufficient, or that more information is needed. While planning and preparation are valuable, over-reliance on them leads to paralysis, creating a false sense of readiness that never materializes. Every day spent waiting reinforces the illusion that progress is unattainable, and gradually aspirations that once felt achievable begin to feel impossible. In contrast, taking decisive action now disrupts this cycle, establishes momentum, demonstrates to the mind that capability exists even in the face of uncertainty. Action taken today rather than tomorrow accelerates results and opens doors that waiting cannot unlock. The process of moving forward generates clarity, builds confidence, and attracts opportunity. Often, the act of starting, even imperfectly, illuminates paths that were previously unseen. Waiting for the right moment keeps vision abstract, while acting in the present transforms intention into tangible progress. Each decision, each step, and each effort made today compounds over time, creating a ripple effect that propels personal growth, professional achievement, and spiritual alignment. The discipline to act immediately signals commitment, determination, and readiness, qualities that naturally attract resources, guidance, and support. Waiting for later also fosters dependency on circumstances rather than self-reliance. Individuals who delay often look externally for validation, timing, or conditions that justify action. This external dependency undermines personal agency and reinforces the notion that progress is outside one's control. By choosing to act now, a person reclaims authority over their own life, demonstrates that change is a result of intentional effort rather than passive hope. Taking control of the present creates a sense of empowerment that shifts minds from limitation to possibility, inertia to momentum, and fear to courage. The psychological impact of postponing action is profound. Waiting creates anxiety, self-doubt, and a diminished sense of agency. It fosters a mindset that equates readiness with perfection and progress with comfort. Acting in the present, however, rewires the brain to embrace initiative, resilience, and creative problem solving. Each small step taken today reinforces confidence and generates a feedback loop of achievement, further weakening the habit of delay. Waiting for later becomes a conscious choice rather than a default, and the power to move forward is restored. Waiting for later also affects relationships, opportunities, and influence. When decisions are delayed, timing is missed, and the alignment necessary for collaboration, partnership, or opportunity is disrupted. Action, on the other hand, signals reliability, decisiveness, and vision, qualities that naturally attract allies, and resources. By acting today, a person creates conditions for growth that waiting cannot produce, establishing a trajectory that accelerates progress and multiplies impact across multiple areas of life. Ultimately, waiting for later is a form of self-imposed limitation that diminishes potential. Each deferred action strengthens the habit of hesitation and delays the manifestation of goals, while deliberate, immediate action builds momentum, confidence, and opportunity. Choosing to act in the present challenges fear, overcomes doubt, and leverages the energy of now to create measurable, meaningful change. The decision to move today rather than later is a declaration of readiness, determination, and belief in one's own ability to shape destiny. Converting potential into progress and dreams into tangible reality. Intentional action is the catalyst that activates unseen favor and blessings, transforming potential into tangible results. Life often presents opportunities, resources, and moments of alignment that remain dormant until a person deliberately engages with them. Favor and blessings, whether in the form of relationships, breakthroughs, financial increase, or personal growth, are rarely random. They respond to energy, commitment, and deliberate steps taken toward purpose. Those who wait passively for good fortune often find themselves frustrated, believing that success or breakthrough is dependent solely on external circumstances. Reality, intentional action signals readiness and alignment, creating conditions for blessings to manifest. The universe, opportunities, and even people respond to decisiveness, focus, and purposeful movement, magnifying the impact of each step taken. Intentional action requires clarity of purpose. Without a defined target or goal, efforts dissipate, energy is scattered, and the momentum necessary for breakthrough is lost. Clarity provides direction, ensuring that every action contributes meaningfully toward the desired outcome. When action is aligned with purpose, it becomes magnetic. Doors that seemed closed begin to open. Solutions appear in unexpected places, and support emerges from unlikely sources. This is because consistent, focused effort communicates seriousness, commitment, and alignment, qualities that attract both divine and practical favor. By acting with intentionality, a person transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunity, leveraging every decision, effort, and step toward the manifestation of blessing. Intentional action also amplifies the law of cause and effect. Every purposeful choice, task completed, or initiative undertaken creates a ripple that impacts multiple areas of life. Often, the results of action are not immediate, but the energy generated sets in motion, circumstances, and alignments that eventually yield profound outcomes. Those who act with intention understand that their engagement, no matter how small, carries significance beyond the visible outcome. Each act becomes a declaration of readiness, an invitation for favor, and a signal to opportunity that the individual is prepared to receive and maximize what comes their way. Furthermore, intentional action strengthens the alignment between effort and opportunity. Waiting passively for blessings fosters dependency on chance, while deliberate steps create leverage. Each intentional decision, whether in career, relationships, spiritual growth, or personal development, positions a person to encounter solutions, guidance, and support at the precise moment it is needed. This principle operates on both practical and spiritual levels, where preparation, initiative, and perseverance intersect with circumstances, timing, and unseen support. The combination of action and readiness ensures that blessings do not go unnoticed or unused, and that opportunities are maximized rather than missed. Another aspect of intentional action is its ability to transform mindset and energy. Engaging deliberately with purpose generates focus, resilience, and confidence. It rewires the brain to recognize patterns, anticipate solutions, and respond proactively rather than reactively. This heightened state of engagement attracts positive outcomes as energy and intent carry weight in both practical and metaphysical dimensions. The momentum created through deliberate action magnifies the effect of every effort, making it easier to overcome obstacles Seize opportunities and navigate challenges effectively. Intentional action also cultivates responsibility and ownership. Those who rely solely on luck or passive hope remain at the mercy of circumstance, but those who act intentionally recognize that their effort is integral to the manifestation of results. Every decision, step, and effort taken with purpose increases personal agency, demonstrate that progress is a function of engagement rather than expectation. By consistently acting with intention, individuals activate pathways for blessings, increase receptivity to opportunity, and position themselves for breakthrough, creating a life defined by both purpose and measurable outcome. Finally, intentional action bridges the gap between desire and fulfillment. Dreams, visions, and aspirations exist as concepts until they are acted upon with focus and purpose. Each deliberate step taken translates potential into reality, transforms planning into execution, and converts possibility into tangible achievement. The process of acting intentionally generates alignment, attracts favor, and amplifies results, ensuring that the energy invested produces returns far beyond what passive waiting could achieve. Through this commitment to purposeful action, opportunities multiply, obstacles diminish, and blessings become not just a hope, but a natural consequence of consistent, focused, and deliberate engagement with life. When all these principles converge, taking deliberate action, recognizing self-imposed delays, confronting fear with courage, building momentum, making bold decisions, transforming misfortune into opportunity, acting without waiting for later, and engaging with intention, they create a powerful framework for breakthrough and transformation. Life is not shaped by chance or luck alone. It responds to energy, focus, and consistent, purposeful movement. Every step taken with clarity and determination compounds, opening doors, attracting opportunities, and aligning circumstances in ways that seem almost miraculous. Stagnation dissolves, delays vanish, and the path forward becomes illuminated. As a result of conscious choices and unwavering commitment, the journey toward ending delay, overcoming stagnation, and inviting favor begins with a decision to act decisively today rather than postponing for tomorrow. It requires courage to confront internal barriers, resilience to push through resistance, and clarity to ensure every action moves toward purpose. Breakthroughs are not reserved for the exceptional. They are available to anyone willing to engage intentionally, act boldly, and persist consistently. As momentum builds, each challenge becomes an opportunity for growth, each setback a stepping stone, and each act of deliberate action a signal to life that you are ready to receive the blessings and favor waiting for you. Ultimately, transformation occurs when potential meets action. The principles explored serve as a roadmap for breaking free from limitation, activating hidden favor, and stepping into a life of progress, purpose, and extraordinary impact. The power to end delay, overcome bad luck, and escape stagnation lies not in external circumstances, but in the decisions, actions, and mindset you cultivate. Every moment presents a choice to remain passive or to act with intention, courage, and determination. Choosing the latter is the pathway to breakthrough, the bridge to opportunity, and the key to unlocking the full measure of your destiny.